I'm in the cane yard, except there's no cane. Instead, it's littered with huge metallic pieces like this. They represent rollers, knives, carriers, the mill, and everything in between. During the last 3 months, the emphasis has been on repair and replace in time for steam trials and the restart. The off-crop is not a time of inactivity. Instead, it's a time for preparation to meet all the challenges of the oncoming crop and to make sure that we keep on grinding unless there's a program stop.
The off-season, that's the area that makes the crop. That's the time that you really determine whether your crop will be successful or not. So during the off-season, I am assigned to cane yard for the last 15 years to oversee all the mechanical works in preparation for getting the next crop on the way. That entails dismantling the equipment, taking it down to scratch. We remove every single equipment. We get those washed, cleaned properly so that they can be inspected. We have to do all of the structural repairs. We set the mechanical team in place and we start to do the repairs, gearboxes, etc. Out at cane yard, we have several major equipments, important equipment. I mean, the whole plant is important so that it can be running as smoothly as possible. But we have to deal with the carriers. That, for me, that's one of the most important piece of equipment that we handle. We have 4 major carriers out at cane yard. The importance of carriers is that while if you have a mechanical issue with certain equipment, in the case of, let's say, we have a major problem with the cane knife, we can remove that cane knife and continue milling. But you need to focus on the equipment that take your product from point A to point B. You can't bypass those. That's why we place great emphasis on getting those things in tip-top shape. We try to work here at cane yard with an aim to let the repairs take us through 1.3 million ton of cane in the first instance. We know that we will have wear and tear, so whatever we do the best job possible, but that needs daily maintenance as well. So we have the crew in crop who checks to see that things are going okay, try to catch potential problem before they get out of hand. And every 2 weeks, when we stop for the routine repairs, we stop for 6 hours. We would replace the hammers. If something was detected that could have waited for the 2 weeks, then we repair those.
You also mentioned the program, that there's a program so how is that program determined, and how much do you have to stick to it, given that you're looking, your own expertise comes in line as well?
Well, we have the engineering team comprising of the senior mechanical engineer for the front area, which is my area. This is separate from the process. It consists of the cane yard, the mills, and also falling under the senior mechanical engineer for upfront is the fabrication shop. So the chief engineer, the factory manager, and the engineering team, they set the program for what needs to be replaced, what direction they want to take the off-season repair. Then they give us that program, and I in turn carry out those repairs along with my team. The beautiful part and the interesting part about us here at cane yard is that apart from one regular mechanic who is full-time mechanic, every individual out there is a operator, a cane yard foreman, a laborer, tipper operator. They didn't come to cane yard with no mechanical skills. but they develop that skill along the way. They have a good attitude, and we try to identify people with skills that we need to either be a mechanic or a welder. And that's the same team that carries us through the repairs.
We know time is not elastic.
Yeah.
So you have a particular amount of time. And there's always this battle about when the crop ends and what it means for your team during the off crop.
For the last 3 years, we've been starting the crop outside of the normal startup time for our crop. And that took this particular crop, the 2024 crop, late down into July. For various reasons, the crop was delayed, particularly due to weather. The large influx of mud that we got, it delayed the crop, put a licking on the equipment, and this particular season, we had a really short window to get everything going.
What would you say would be the ideal amount of time that you need to ensure that you do your due diligence and ensure that you take the necessary amount of time to repair and replace everything?
4 months would be an ideal time to get everything going. Of course, if we don't have that time, it doesn't mean that we compromise quality, or else we'll pay for it during the crop. So we make different adjustments. We offer overtime where it's necessary, and we just try to stick to the work hours, work as safely as possible, because we have to keep safety in mind.
What would you say then is your biggest challenge? Is it time, or is it staffing?
I won't say staffing, because we have a very good team that has been proven over the years. My biggest challenge out here at Kenya is the time and the elements, where you see that today is a good day, but it's extra hot. We have to ensure that we provide shelter, shade for the employees so that they can work comfortably. And with climate change and all of the issues that we've been having, we've seen excessive amount of rains. And that takes a lot of the short time that I have to work with.
What would you say to somebody who doesn't understand why there's a need to take down the entire factory?
If the foundation is weak, then your whole structure would be compromised. So it's important that you strip down everything. We owe it to the other stakeholders in the industry as well. The farmers depend on us to ensure that we operate a mill that has limited downtime. And time is money. In anything that you do, time is money.
We're getting ever so closer to the start of crop. And that means that time is not on our side, and that we need all the help that we can get. So I've decided to take up some welding. For another Tower Hill Live, I'm William Neal, and I'm getting back to work.